They say love can make you blind, but in my case, it made me stupid. My name's Daniel, I'm 36, and I used to believe in forever. I thought if you gave someone your heart, your loyalty, your entire soul, they'd never turn on you. I was wrong. It started about 2 months ago, the morning my wife, Rachel, told me she needed a break. She stood by the sink, her hands wrapped around a cup of coffee she hadn't even touched, eyes darting everywhere except at me. "It's not about you," she said softly. "I just need some time alone to clear my head." I asked if I'd done something wrong. She smiled, that polite, hollow smile you give strangers when you want to escape a conversation, and said, "Of course not, Danny. I just need space." I believed her. I told her to take as much time as she needed. I even helped her pack because I wanted to be supportive, because I loved her, because I was an idiot. The next morning, I woke up to my phone buzzing like crazy. Notifications, tags, messages from friends. Rachel had started posting cryptic quotes on social media. "I love the wrong person. You deserve someone who supports you." At first, I didn't understand. Then a friend texted me, "Hey man, are you and Rachel okay? She's posting some pretty heavy stuff." I opened her page and felt my stomach twist. She had posted a photo of herself standing on a hill at sunset with a caption that read, "Healing is messy but worth it." The comments were full of people cheering her on. "You're so brave. You deserve happiness. He doesn't deserve you." That was me. That night, I couldn't sleep. I just sat there scrolling through her posts, each one twisting the knife deeper. How could she do this? We'd built a life together. We'd promised to have each other's backs. Now she was rewriting our history, like I was the villain in her story. Rachel and I had been married for 6 years. We met in college. She was the outgoing psychology student with a laugh that filled every room. I was the quiet engineering major who fell in love with that laugh. We built everything from scratch. A cozy little house, a cat named Tobias, a simple life that I thought was happy. I worked long hours in IT. She worked at a marketing agency. We had our ups and downs, but I thought that was normal. I thought we were strong. So when she said she needed space, I figured she was just burned out. I never imagined she'd use that space to destroy my reputation. Within days, mutual friends stopped calling. My coworkers gave me weird looks. One of her friends even messaged me saying, "You should be ashamed of what you did to her." What did I do? I hadn't done anything except love her. That's when it hit me. Rachel was telling lies. Big ones. Lies that made her the victim and me the villain. And no matter how quiet or kind I stayed, her version spread faster. Because she was louder. Because she cried online while I suffered offline. A month later, she called me. Her tone was calm, cold. "Hey, Danny," she said, like she was ordering coffee. "I think it's time we talk about divorce." I went silent. "Divorce?" She said it so casually, like she wasn't ripping out my heart. "Why?" I asked. She sighed. "We've both changed. You just didn't notice. I need someone who understands me." I wanted to scream. I wanted to ask who she'd been texting at midnight while I was at work. But instead, I just said, "If that's what you want," because by then I was tired. Tired of chasing someone who'd already decided to leave. Weeks passed. The rumors grew uglier. She told people I'd been controlling, that I'd tried to clip her wings. Some even said she hinted I cheated. I never cheated. I never shouted. The worst thing I ever did was put her happiness above mine. She kept the house. She kept the car. She kept our cat, Tobias. My new apartment didn't allow pets, so I couldn't take him. That broke me more than anything. I tried to rebuild. I tried to move on. But then, one random Tuesday afternoon, I saw her. I was at a coffee shop near our old neighborhood. As I stood in line, I spotted her through the window, sitting across from a man, laughing, touching his hand. It wasn't just friendly. It was intimate. And the man, I recognized him. He was her co-worker. That's when the puzzle pieces snapped together. The break wasn't for space. It was for him. I didn't confront her. I didn't yell. I walked out of that cafe, numb. And for the first time, I wasn't sad. I was furious. That fury simmered quietly until 2 weeks later, when I heard something that flipped the entire situation upside down. A mutual friend mentioned Rachel had been laid off. Apparently, her agency downsized, and she'd been collecting unemployment for a while. I felt a little sorry for her, despite everything, until that same friend casually said, "Yeah, but she's been doing fine. She's working under the table for some company and doing freelance gigs too." My mind froze. Wait, she was collecting unemployment while secretly working? I didn't say anything. But that night, curiosity turned into motivation. I texted her, something polite like, "Hey, just checking in. How are things?" She replied almost instantly, bragging about her new opportunities. I asked a few casual questions, pretending to be supportive. She told me everything. The 2 side jobs, her pay rates, and how much she was making. She even said, "It's nice to finally make money without you controlling it." I smiled, not because of what she said, but because I knew exactly what I was going to do. I took screenshots of every message, every single one. Then I did some research. I learned how unemployment fraud works, how it's illegal to collect benefits while working. I found the exact form to report it, and I filled it out carefully. I attached the screenshots, the dates, and the company names. As I clicked submit, my hands were shaking. Not from guilt, from adrenaline. I wasn't doing this out of spite. I was doing it because she'd spent weeks lying about me, turning people against me, taking everything from me, and still pretending to be the victim. She deserved consequences. Days passed. I didn't think much about it until she called me out of the blue. Her voice was panicked. "Danny, did you do something?" I played dumb. "What are you talking about?" She snapped, "Don't act innocent. Someone reported me for unemployment fraud. They're investigating me." I kept my tone calm. "Wow, that sounds serious. You probably shouldn't have been working while collecting benefits." There was silence on the line. Then she whispered, "You bastard." I didn't respond. I just said, "Take care, Rachel," and hung up. That night, I slept like a baby for the first time in months. Over the next few weeks, I started hearing bits and pieces from mutual acquaintances. She was panicking. Apparently, she had to repay all the unemployment money, plus fines. She even lost one of her under-the-table jobs because the employer didn't want legal trouble. And with no steady income, she started falling behind on her mortgage, the same house she kicked me out of. Poetic justice. I didn't celebrate publicly. I didn't brag. I didn't post about it. I just went to work, paid my bills, and enjoyed the quiet satisfaction of knowing karma had finally balanced the scales. A month later, I went back to our old neighborhood to grab a few things she'd promised to leave for me. Old books, a box of photos, some tools. The house looked empty. The lawn was overgrown. A for sale sign stood in the front yard. Rachel opened the door. She looked tired, smaller somehow. Her hair was messy, her eyes hollow. "You did this," she said quietly. I shrugged. "You did this to yourself." She glared at me. "You ruined my life." I shook my head. "No, Rachel, you ruined mine. I just stopped letting you win." She didn't reply. She just slammed the door and locked it. As I walked away, I felt lighter, like a weight I'd been carrying for months had finally lifted. I got into my car and sat there for a while, watching the house. The same house where we once laughed, fought, dreamed. Now it was just another empty structure, waiting for someone else to make it a home. And that's when I realized something important. Revenge doesn't always have to be loud. Sometimes it's quiet, legal, and completely deserved. A few days later, I got an email from a friend with a photo attached. It was Tobias, our cat. He was curled up on a new couch, happy and healthy. The friend said Rachel had given him away to her neighbor because she couldn't afford to keep him anymore. The neighbor was kind, had kids, and promised to take good care of him. I smiled. Tobias was safe. That was all that mattered. After everything, I didn't hate Rachel. Not anymore. Hate means you still care. I felt nothing, just closure. I stopped checking her social media. I stopped wondering what people thought of me. I stopped defending myself. Because the truth doesn't need defending. It just needs time. Months later, when I finally started feeling normal again, I ran into one of our old friends at a grocery store. She told me Rachel had moved to another city, starting over, working minimum wage. I just nodded. I hope she finds what she's looking for. The friend looked at me with a strange expression. "After everything she did, you still care?" I smiled faintly. "Not really. I just know what it's like to lose yourself trying to prove you were the good one." I walked away, groceries in hand, and for the first time in a long while, I didn't feel bitter. I felt free. Sometimes, revenge isn't about destroying someone else. It's about rebuilding yourself after they tried to break you. And if you can do that, if you can rise from the ashes they left you in, that's the sweetest revenge there is.